I'm Joe Halco, Director of Community Relations for Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, and welcome to another episode of NCSS Here for You. Since 1958, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to high-quality services which promote healthy living and emotional well-being to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. We take our role in the community seriously and strive to provide a continuum of the highest quality services to meet the needs of individuals who at any point seek assistance. This month's episode is titled Watershed Mentoring. Watershed Mentoring is an adult youth mentoring program serving school-age children throughout Franklin County. The mission of Watershed Mentoring is to enrich the lives of youth and adults by providing the opportunity to develop positive and caring relationships with fellow community members. It's their goal that every child who needs a mentor will find a match and have the opportunity to make a friend for life. Children of promise may need a little bit or of a boost to succeed in school, develop positive friendships, try new sports, games, or creative activities. Mentoring helps kids feel more confident academically and socially. Over the years, NCSS has collaborated with Franklin County Caring Communities, Watershed Mentoring's parent organization, with staff members who have served on the board of directors, while others have served as mentors. To discuss the impact this program has on both mentors and mentees, I'm pleased to introduce this month's guests, and they are Mary Ann Hunkin, Program Coordinator for Watershed Mentoring, Laura Isham, a mentor in the Watershed Mentoring Program, and April Smith, a mentee in the Watershed Mentoring Program. I'd like to welcome all of you to the program this month.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start with, can you give us an overview of Watershed Mentoring?
Sure. So Watershed Mentoring, as you said in the intro, is a community-based mentoring program. We match children ages 5 to 18 with caring adults that can provide them with some support and mentorship. Our goal is really for young people to feel connected to their community, and we find that the program is really beneficial for creating relationships and confidence in young people. And we also find that the adults who mentor our young people are also benefiting from the program. They feel more connected, they feel a sense of purpose. And so we work to connect both adults and young people who are interested in a mentorship relationship. And then it's my job to support them through training, any sort of problem solving that might happen. And we have a couple of requirements for mentors. So we ask that mentors be 18 and that they have either a GED or a high school diploma, and that they be willing to go through a rigorous background check. So we do some screening of people just to make sure that they're safe and appropriate for spending time with young people. And then, as I said, they get trained and some ongoing support for us. Right now, we have a lot of young people who are really interested in finding mentors, and we are really looking for mentors who are interested in spending an hour or two a week with a young person, and we ask folks to be able to commit to a year at the outset. And then if that year commitment, for whatever reason, if people want to continue, then we continue to support that relationship. If people are feeling like things are shifting, then we can help people close the relationship in a way that feels healthy for both child and adult.
Mm-hmm. And Laura and April, what drew you to becoming a mentor and a mentee?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I guess one of the main reasons why I wanted to be a mentor was so that I could feel more connected to my community. And in particular, it seems like we tend to get siloed off into our own separate age groups, and other than family members, we tend to not interact with people of different ages that much. So it like more connected in general, but also more connected with kids and with different age groups.
And April?
I okay, that's better. I had a really hard time in school connecting with other kids, and my home life wasn't the best, and I wanted a friend, like a best friend. So I was in counseling for a long time, and then I was introduced to Watershed, and I met Laura, and it was just, we were like complete opposites, but it was awesome. Like, it's the best feeling to have, like, it's like a best friend. It's like, it's hard to explain, but it just feels great that you have someone else to talk to besides like a family member or like immediate family, or it just feels great.
See, I think it's rather interesting that you mentioned when you first met, you were like opposites. And I don't know if you've ever heard the term about opposites attract in many instances, but I think what's important about this that people hear is the fact that, when you talk about a relationship of a mentor and a mentee, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has to be exactly like the person that they're going to be working with. That's probably one of the really great things about the relationship is the fact that you come at things from different perspectives and you get an opportunity to learn from one another in that fashion.
I loved when you shared last week when we were kind of talking about this, about how the fact that you were opposite allowed you to like try new things together. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So when I filled out my form, I wanted someone that was into sports and like playing video games. But Laura was going hiking, being outside, doing things that involved nature, and I didn't really like that. I was kind of like, no, I want to stay inside. And then like we met and we went out for a few hikes, and she brought her dog. Best dog in the world. Take note. We went on a hike, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I asked to do it again. And ever since then, like, being with someone that's different and does different things, you don't understand how powerful they impact you with, like, because I was really depressed, and she loved doing things that was outside, and just being outside with a friend, it's like nothing can make you upset unless you fall down, but yeah.
That's a great story. What kind of dog?
He's a smooth collie.
Smooth collie. Collies are a terrific breed.
He's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Terrific breed. So, Laura, what do you like most about being a mentor?
I guess it's hard to pick just one thing, but I like feeling like I'm a good example to somebody else, and like being a mentor has kind of helped me to see the ways that I am actually a good example. So kind of to help see myself differently. But it's good knowing that I'm making an impact on somebody and that she actually likes spending time with me. So like all of those are good things.
And April, from your perspective, the things that you like about, and I know you've expressed some already, but about having a mentor.
Like Laura said, it's hard to pick just one thing. What I like the most about it is that I don't feel pressured to make the right choice. Like, we could go out and there could be like a bad situation, and she just perfectly like sets a good example, not even on purpose, but she just does it. And if it wasn't for her and being with her for 6 years, I probably wouldn't have learned as much as I have today. So definitely having a mentor really does show that.
Like it's a way to learn, but not like formally learn, to just learn by
Yeah.
example.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not sitting down and being like, oh, you should do this and this. Like someone's not telling you, but you can see that they're making the right choice, and it makes you want to be like them and make the right choice. So that's one of the best things about having a mentor.
Excellent. Now, this is for both of you. You mentioned some of the things that you do together, but what are some of the other things that you do together? And then also, how often do you meet? Does that vary, or is it pretty systematic?
It's pretty much once a week. There'll be occasional weeks when we can't meet, and towards the end of our mentoring, when April got her job, we started to be able to meet a little bit less. So it'll depend on your schedules, but generally it's once a week. And it's recommended that it be a couple hours, and that can also kind of vary depending on your schedule and depending on what you're doing. And so one of the things that we've done is we went to the Jay Peak Water Park, and so for that, obviously, we did a longer meeting because you have to drive
the
there.
distance. And,
It was
yeah.
great. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things we've ever done, we went to her mom's house and we went kayaking. And I'm terrible at kayaking. So we'd be kayaking, she's all the way in front of me, and I'm all the way back here. I'm like, slow down. I can't go that fast. So she stops, and she's like waiting there for a solid 15 minutes. I'm like, you can go. I can't do it. And it's so much fun to like, that's out of my comfort zone, but it's something she likes. So we do things that we both like. So if I wanted to stay inside, she would make it so we could play a board game. Like instead of sitting there watching TV, we'd do something, learning based, and it's fun. But we've been kayaking.
We went paddleboarding because April was like, oh, I think this might be more fun than kayaking, so we tried that out once or twice. So we've tried new things sometimes.
Yeah.
We went to Petra Cliffs a couple times.
Yeah, I don't recommend going there. Hands kind of hurt after a while. You get tired really fast.
That's work, huh?
Yeah, that is, you have to show
Physical
some.
exertion.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
We also have been on a few hikes where it's the.
We went to the Stowe Pinnacle, like from the Pinnacle Meadows parking lot. We went to a Rise Vermont hike, and we've been to a few other hiking things too.
We were at this one where we were going all the way up. We got to the top of this mountain and the most beautiful view. And I got close to the ledge, and Laura's like, "Don't go over there! You're gonna fall." And I'm a klutz, so I'm like, "Okay, I'll come back." And it was just funny. It was great. I don't know. It's just fun. Like there's so much stuff you can do.
So you must not be afraid of heights. If you were that close to that.
Nope, I am not. But she wasn't like in a panic, but she was like, "Stop! Like, get away from there!" Like kind of a mom thing. It was great.
And on the inside games and that you've played, what kind of board games have you played?
We played. There's one we've been playing lately called Tempura. There's another one called Love Letter. There's one called Red Dragon Inn. There's one called King of Tokyo.
Pooh's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah. So we played a lot of different like board and card based games.
We do watch anime movies, and I used to despise anime, but there are some really good movies out there.
Yeah, and other movies too.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that both Laura and April talk about so well is that they're doing things together. They're co-creating their time together. So both mentors and mentees get to try new things, especially there's a lot of compromise in their relationship, and also that they're in the community. So I love that Laura brought up that April and Laura went on a hike with Rise Vermont, because we really encourage our mentors and our mentees to get out in the community, right? So we want our young people to feel valued by their community, and we see that mentoring in the community is one of the ways that that can really help with that and foster that. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and name that, the way that they create their time together, and also that they're like really in the community and accessing what our community has to offer, which is a lot.
That is true. So April, I mean, you've talked a little bit about this, but how has having a mentor impacted your life?
It's an undescribable feeling when you get a mentor that, actually shows that they care about you. And like, if you had a hard upgrowing, or, you don't feel like you have someone to talk to, if you have a mentor, I'm not saying you 100% trust them the first day, first week, even first year, but you get to know them, and it's like gradually you start to trust them, and it feels great it's like a inseparable bond that you get, that you can't really have with anybody else. It has impacted me education-wise, life skills, and just respect. So it's a great resource. Not saying that you're like a dictionary or anything, but it is a great resource to have someone there for you. It feels like love, like sisterly love, or if you're a boy, and whatever match you get, it just feels like family, but not. It's hard to explain. It's just a great feeling. It's a warm feeling.
And with the way that you feel about this, are there other young people that you have kind of guided to get mentors as well, or is that something that hasn't really come across your mind?
I have told people about this program, and they basically said, that's not cool, that's not fun, like, why would I want to go out with someone older than me? Like, I want to do stuff, like, and it's like, these are old friends that I had that used to make very bad decisions like I did. And once you get with a mentor, you don't think about going out and making bad decisions. You think about going out, having fun appropriately. And they just didn't think it was cool. Like, having a mentor is cool, is awesome. But I think everybody should have a mentor. I really do. Like even older people, like 65 and up, I think they should have a mentor.
Yeah.
It's like it's just fun. It's someone to talk to, someone to do stuff with. Like, you may have kids or family, but it's just not the same. It's really not.
Oh, you're right. And you're right. Everybody needs, I mean, a lot of people in business will have like a mentor who's helped them in their business careers, which is kind of a similar thing, but in a different vein. But you make a great point, though, that everybody should have a mentor in their life, because it is so separate from family and, others that they've possibly grown up with. So how can people get involved? Because one of the things that we've also heard is the fact that there's a lot of young people who are looking for mentors, and perhaps there isn't a full cadre of mentors available.
Yeah, so young people who get referred to our program, I meet with them and their families, and we talk about what their needs are and what they're interested in. And those are some of my favorite meetings, because I get to meet young people who are really enthusiastic and excited about the prospect of spending time with someone who can be their friend and hang out with them. And like April said, like in a way that is appropriate and fosters skills in relationship building. So kids are so excited, and they're all popping into my mind now as I'm thinking. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, and you think I would be a great mentor, or even if you think I know, my friend would be a great mentor, you can get in touch with me. My phone number is 802-527-5049. You can also go to the Franklin County Caring Communities website, and you can email me at Marianne, MARIANNE, at fcccp.org. So there's 3 C's in there. And any of those are excellent ways to get in touch with me. I'm happy to sit down and have coffee with you and talk to you more about the program and whether or not it would be a good fit. But we are always looking for wonderful mentors. So please get in touch if you think it might be a good fit for you.
And right now, as we speak, what's the need as far as male versus female mentors?
That's a really interesting question. We do have a couple of boys who have requested specifically male mentors. We typically find people who identify as women that are more interested in becoming mentors. That is not true across the board. We've had some men who have been wonderful mentors, but we do have a need for both. And at the moment, I would say that we're split down the middle as far as the need for mentors. And we just truly, we just need people who are caring and have the ability to commit to a year and an hour. So really, anyone who's interested, I would love to speak to. Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, what is there an average that a mentor stays involved? I mean, I know you say you look for a year, but like in Laura's case, as an example, she's been involved for 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's others that perhaps have been involved even longer.
Yeah, most of our matches, I don't know what the average is, but I do know that most of our matches who work, who are together for a year, stay on for longer than that, especially if the mentorship has started when the child is younger or in middle school. We find that the match, the longevity of the match is longer. But I will say that most of our mentors have been, I think I only have one that is less than a year. So most of our matches have been meeting for at least a year or longer. Yeah.
And I know that NCSS refers a lot of young people to you. Are there also a lot of other organizations that are also feeding a lot of individuals to you as well? Or?
We sometimes get referrals through schools. Also parents. We have a lot of parents who are excellent advocates for their children, and they make referrals. I received a few parents who made referrals this week. We also receive referrals sometimes from mentors. We received one about a few months ago of someone who knew of a young person who could use a mentor, and that's how they got referred. But anyone can make a referral for a mentee as well, and that application is on our website as well. Yeah.
And Marianne, could you give those various ways that they can get in touch with you again?
So you can call me at 802-527-5049 and email at Marianne, MARIANNE, at fcccp.org. So either an email or a phone call. And if you want more information, you can check out our website. We also have a Facebook page.
So Laura, final thoughts from your perspective as a mentor, and if you could just say a few words to others who might be considering becoming mentors.
So yeah, anybody who is interested in being a mentor, I really encourage you to, by watching this segment, you'll have a good idea of what generally is involved in it, and if it sounds like something that you think you might be interested in, then it is very rewarding, and I think you should give it a shot. And then one thing that I was thinking about that I just wanted to talk about a little bit is I was talking about like the different generations get a little siloed off, especially from young people who aren't related to them. And it's also been kind of nice having April meet some of my family. Like she's met my parents, she's met my grandmother. So she's gotten to meet some different people, and they've gotten to meet a young person, and they otherwise might not have as much contact with young people. So it's just good to get the different generations talking and learning from each other.
Yeah, it truly is. And, we're in a time right now in this country where even in the workplace, we have the most multi-general, boy, I'm going to not get this out right, but most generations ever in the workplace working together than we've ever had before. And that makes for a rather interesting dynamic in the workplace, just like it does in society at large. I think one of the other things that I've heard through today's segment too, though, is that the mentor probably gets as much out of this relationship as the mentee.
Yes.
So it's not as if it's, the mentee is kind of like absorbing all of this and it's really great, but that it's also really, really terrific for the mentor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's good learning about some of the things that kids are talking about today, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting learning from just a different person who's maybe has some different interests than you, and you can learn from each other.
That's cool, kids.
Yeah. I think the perspective of young people, my mentee is always challenging me to think about things in a different way. And I think that that's really powerful to be able to listen to young people. They have a lot of wisdom, and being connected to them, I think, is a really important thing and is really special. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That goes without saying that, people have to have an open mind and realize that, everyone brings something special and different to the table. And doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter at what time, but I think it's important. And I think it's great for everybody to be able to expand their own horizons, just like April, you were saying, as far as things that perhaps you never would have done that you've been involved in. So.
Yeah.
Well, this has been terrific. It's been great having all of you on the show this month. And I want to thank my guests, Marianne Hunkin, Laura Isham, and April Smith, for sharing their insights on the positive impact that the Watershed Mentoring Program has on youth in our community. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for spending time with us again this month. You can learn more about all of the NCSS programs and services by visiting ncssinc.org. I'm Joe Halco, and I'll be back next month with another episode of NCSS Here for You.